Still confusing. You know, I should. One sec. There we go.
Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to Fallout New Vegas and stuff.
So, when last we left off, we had just picked up a bunch of quests here. These guys are all upset and have bad morale or whatever. It looks like there's a lot of ranger stations around. Sure, whatever. I do think that I should probably talk to the person who is in charge of the thingamabobber. The quartermaster, I think it is. Don't want to go there. I should talk to the quartermaster, wherever they are. Actually, what time is it? It is 4:21, so the showing is not going to be on. Hey, here's the quartermaster.
I heard you helped Grover Nelson from the Legion. Glad to see someone making a difference around here instead of just complaining.
Okay. I was sent to help you out.
So, the Major has you running errands for him. We're short on personnel as well as supplies, so we'll take all the help.
I mean, technically, the Major has me performing errands for you, not for him. He doesn't actually have any errands for me. How can I help with your supply trophies?
The Major let me send out some troops to gather supplies, but unfortunately they never returned. I'm guessing they ran into some trouble on the way.
No.
You can help by finding the troops and assisting them in bringing back any supplies they found.
Any idea where I can start looking? Yeah, maybe the ground.
I sent
Maybe
this one to see if
8
they had
feet
any
above
supplies
the
that were
ground.
spare. They gotta be somewhere between here and there. I try searching the main road or checking with the men at Helios 1 to see if they know anything.
Okay.
We really need those supplies, so don't take your sweet time finding them.
I might need to do this before I go into the DLC, actually. I don't think that the other quest is really that important. Helios 1? Helios 1 is so far... How were they supposed to get there? Isn't this like a box canyon? Or is it not? Did they go back through the... Is there a back exit of this place? How the fuck were these people supposed... You sent them through an enemy encampment to get supplies? Am I hearing this correctly? What the hell? No, okay, fine. There is a northern exit. Whatever. So maybe it's not a box canyon. Maybe it is. I guess we'll find out. Maybe I shouldn't talk shit about people before I confirm that they need shit talking. So, we have healing powder. We have purified water. Do I want to use the purified water right now? I might need to use some of Ruby's casserole. I don't really want to. Oh, I'm at full HP. Do I want to... I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm now at a point where I can sleep, and I'm going to have to sleep, and I would prefer to sleep in my bed. Since I'm going to be sleeping periodically now, the rules change fundamentally. Okay, so before, there was a whole lot of min-maxing with regards to me using my food in a way that maximizes my HP regen, right? So I needed to use the food in order to accomplish that specific objective. However, now that I'm going to be regularly sleeping, that changes the dynamic completely, because now I'm going to be sleeping every 48, 72 hours, however long it is that I need to sleep. And because I'm going to be sleeping periodically in a bed that heals me, what that functionally means is that it's probably unfair for me to try to min-max my food intake, in my opinion. So what that means from a practical perspective is I'm probably going to keep allowing the Sunset Sarsaparilla for now. But I think that it makes a lot of sense for me to... The issue... I don't want to get more rads, to be fair. I don't want to get more rads. So using this right now seems like a great idea, and I kind of want to do it, but I also kind of don't, just because I don't want all those rads. And I don't have a lot of good food right now. But, and I don't think I'm going to use. I don't think I'm going to allow myself to use things like caffeine to reduce my sleep. My tiredness. I don't think that I want to do that. I think that that feels very cheating to me. So what we're going to do is I could use this. Doesn't give me that much food though. It doesn't really solidify for me for a long time. I think I am going to eat a Ruby's casserole just to kind of show that I'm taking this seriously. That yes, I do intend to actually do this. I should have put on my spacesuit before I did this because I'm not positive, but I have a suspicion that my spacesuit would have actually protected me from a portion of that radiation. It doesn't make any sense that it would, though, so while I should have done that probably, I don't know that it matters that I should have done that. I feel like I probably wouldn't be allowed to. I think that's a little ridiculous. I think purified water and Ruby casserole both turned off separately from each other, which means that it looks like the food and drink buffs do not overwrite each other, which is good to know. I think I am going to go to Ranger Station Delta over here, so we're going to pop over there, just because it's here and it exists. There are some enemies here. I don't know who they are. I am a little concerned about the assassins showing up, but I'm not that concerned. So there's 3 enemies on that side. And this is the way to the station, right? Is that a cave that I just saw? Is this the ranger station? Ho ho ho! You see what that is down there? That's one of my favorite things of all time. Alright, so is this the ranger station? It looks like it is. Alright, so we're heading to the ranger station. I think that this place has been obliterated. It's possible that it hasn't been. It's possible that this is just the way it looks because the building that was here got obliterated, but I will say from a tactical perspective, the actual locations of these places make almost 0 sense. If you look at the tower here, I guess the tower technically has line of sight here, but it makes very little sense. If all you're building is a fucking tent, that tent should be on the top of the mountain where you can goddamn see where you're going, and they should be using dynamite or some other mechanism to clear some of this so that they have clear sight lines to where their enemies are. In my opinion. I am not an expert on, like, tactical defensive strategy, but I think it's pretty clear that the people who made the decision to hide in the center of these canyons are not either.
Moves and you and I will do all right. What do you want?
What are you doing out here?
Keeping watch on the river and looking for anyone trying to cross it. The Legion likes to send infiltration teams over on rafts. Best of the best. That's all there is to it. Really nothing more to say than that.
Okay.
See you around.
Is that slap? Oh. I was like, glap? What does glap mean? This isn't zero. Hey, comms officer, how's it going?
I'm not supposed to let civilians just walk around this place. There better be a good reason for you being here.
I'm going to go ahead and say you're the comms officer. I'm pretty sure it's the ranger's job to prevent me from being here, not yours. I brought some security code updates from...
Very well. You can tell Reyes that this station is secure.
What do you do here?
I'm in charge of the radio, hence the title comm officer. I'd much rather be out on patrol since nothing much happens around here. Well, when there's just regular NCR troops can't handle, they send in a ranger. Problem solved. We're also responsible for keeping the borders of the NCR secure, scouting out threats, that sort of thing. Sir?
I will also say the more that I think about it, the less sense it makes. they were willing to entrust me with this. I mean, it makes a degree of sense that they were willing to trust me with it because I've actually helped them out quite a bit. Like, I've done a lot of work for this organization. So, but like the idea that they don't have to worry about security, the fact that they're sending people out on foot to have to tell these people on, like, in person to change their codes indicates that the codes they're using, that this is information that is susceptible to interception. Now, the codes themselves being intercepted might not be a problem, but let's say that I'm actually working for the Legion and they send me out to get all these codes, right? They send me out to get these codes. And I tell the Legion they are going to be sending out people to these places to get codes, to basically transmit codes. Not only do they have someone who they think is going to transmit codes and isn't, in addition, the Legion already knows in advance that there are going to be changes, and when they start hearing static, they know exactly what happened. But also, they know that they can send people to intercept the next people who are coming along. They know the origin point, and they know all of the destinations. And if they can, like, there's a lot of things they could do. They could take control of one of these places, and that would be very damaging. But also, they can just intercept the person who's going out to try and deliver these codes and prevent those codes from being delivered for much longer than would necessarily happen if the Legion didn't know that the codes were going out at all. Because it's all well and good to say, like, oh, well, the Legion is going to be trying to pick off people anyway, and that's true, but they don't know that physical messengers on foot are going to be going from that particular location to all of these other locations, right? And she put those locations on my map, so I know, and by extension, if I was a hostile, the Legion knows exactly where all those locations are, which means that you can create a much more effective encapsulation network to prevent the message from getting through. I think that there's a couple of scorpions on me. This is a normal-sized scorpion, not going to worry too much about it. There's another one somewhere, but I don't think it's actually on me, so I don't need to worry too much. Okay. Did that thing seriously die? Not die, but get knocked out in 2 hits. Okay, well, this is going to be reasonably trivial, which, you know, makes sense. I am going to need to move my light. I'm not using my light right now because of the fact that it's not useful this particular second. I need to basically change up my visuals. I haven't had the opportunity to play with my lighting as much as I'd like to. I changed the setup that I have a bit, and you can see now that I'm actually looking this way instead of over here. So I'm also, the camera's a little higher. It's because I've actually swapped my monitors. My larger, like, better monitor is actually on my left side now, and the tiny monitor is on the right side. And so what that means is that the camera's directly facing me, and I was able to do some cool stuff with lighting as a result. And then the lighting changed slightly, and everything got messed up, and my life was made sad. You know, the usual. So I just need to hit this thing twice to knock it out, I think. Oh, maybe no, I didn't knock it out. I knocked it over, and then it got knocked out while it was down. Okay, there we go. So I'm not going to be removing my thinger. I'm not going to be removing these because I was under the impression that they were causing me to do less damage, but I don't think that's actually the case. Excuse you, could you... Nope, that's not it. Why are you pointing at the part of its body that isn't even actually part of its body? Nope, that's not one either. At least I'm hitting it. Alright. This game is weird sometimes. So we do have rad scorpions here. Now that might be indicative that there's going to be like heavy radiation around here. I am kind of curious about these rad scorpions. Like, from a practical perspective, the existence of rad scorpions doesn't really make any sense. You know, me and my wife had a good laugh about it because, like, from a biological perspective, it's just very silly. So, like, here's a fun fact, maybe spoiler for the apocalypse. Bugs don't get bigger when you hit them with radiation, and there is an absolute size limit to critters with a respiratory system of the type that bugs have. The reason that bugs used to be bigger was because there was more oxygen, and with more oxygen, they had the ability to be larger because you could get the oxygen. You could get basically more oxygen was able to be pushed through. It's a whole thing. But the basic gist is that unless the nuclear holocaust causes a bunch of extra oxygen, this doesn't make any sense. And because of the fact that there's basically no plant life around, the idea that there's a bunch of extra oxygen in the atmosphere seems a little ridiculous. But there is another explanation for it, which, you know, me and my wife were making fun of, which is the idea that they spontaneously evolved lungs, which is just kind of a funny, silly thing. But hypothetically speaking, because we are in kind of like a fantasy-ish environment, it is also possible that they were actually just sort of made, that these are artificial creatures. They're like chimeras. Fun fact about chimeras: chimeras are not, in fact, generally considered to be natural creatures. Chimeras are usually the product of some mad wizard's experimentations. Think of it like human centipede type stuff, only not humans, and instead, you know, a bunch of miscellaneous animals and a lot of, you know, weird necromantic power. So anyway, they're kind of like manticores. So that's another option that actually makes sense within the context of the setting. It is the kind of thing that makes a degree of sense. On this spot in the year 2277, Rangers and soldiers of the New California Republic turned back the forces of Caesar's Legion to the Battle of Hoover Dam. Over 100 men and women gave their lives in Nevada soil to defend the local civilians and the principles of the Republic. May this humble stone be an enduring memorial to their valor and service. Hey, Private.
You here to pay your respects too?
Nope, I'm on my way somewhere else. What is this
Commemorates
for?
the Battle of Hoover Dam. The Rangers lured the best of Caesar's Legion into Boulder City and blew the whole town up. The NCR still lost a bunch of troops in the fighting, though. My older brother sacrificed himself so they could evacuate some of the wounded.
I like how there's only like 3 voice actors in this entire game. Akihiko is really going to town here. And I don't actually know that it's the same voice actor as Akihiko, by the way. I don't know, but he sounds like Akihiko to me. And who knows? It could be 3 different people that all sound like Akihiko, and none of them are Akihiko, and that would be really funny. Akihiko's a character from Persona 3. Let's see. His voice actor has the character of Akihiko has a very specific voice. He has a specific way that like a breathiness to his voice that's very noticeable. And I don't know if that was something that was done specifically for that character, or if it's something that's normal to that guy's voice, because I don't know what his voice is normally like. Let's see. What am I sorry to hear? I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, I think he said it, like some of his family members were there.
Camp McCarran, but I'm on leave at the moment, heading back to California to see my folks. I'm supposed to join up with a caravan that's heading that way up at the 188. They're not due to arrive for a while yet.
Interesting.
Bye.
I believe you're gonna die. I am almost positive that this guy is going to die. I would be very surprised if this guy makes it through the whole game. Let's see here. I'm accepted in Boulder City. There's another ranger station up here. And I can get to Helios 1 from here. The reason that I'm not doing a fast travel thing is because I do want to get the quest, that one particular quest, done first. And I want to, so heading up to the road makes a degree of sense here. I did actually underestimate the verisimilitude of this. There is a perfectly clear pathway of territory that they should hypothetically control that leads to here. The fact that the LARPers managed to take control of Nelson is actually very alarming. It looks like this is a river, question mark? So they presumably crossed the river. But them making that crossing and putting a beachhead there, that is a very, that's a very dangerous thing for the people on the other side. Like, that is very dangerous to them, because they now have basically a beachhead in the middle of their territory that is controlled by the enemy. Not great. Hey, Ike, how's it going?
A customer. Not many people come into Boulder City these days.
Tell me about Boulder City.
Most of the town is rubble, destroyed during the Battle of Hoover Dam. And the only other thing around here is the concrete mixing yard.
Okay, what's the concrete used for?
The NCR has been constructing bunkers up and down the river. From what I've heard, it's a little late for that. Travelers over at the 188, just up the road, said that the Legion has overrun a couple of towns to the south.
Where's the concrete?
Most of the limestone comes from Quarry Junction out west, but I hear some Deathclaws overran the quarry. With no work to be had, all the workers around here have wandered off. I'm the only one left in town.
Interesting.
What can I get you?
So, clearing Quarry Junction could hypothetically directly lead to sort of making the war effort substantially more in favor of the NCR. I don't necessarily want to improve the position of the NCR relative to the locals here, but as far as I can tell,
Come back real soon.
the NCR is kind of like, and this is actually very much like the battle, any battle between like fascists and liberals, right? I'm using the word liberal here to refer to capitalists, to be clear. So capitalists will, be basically kind of useless, and they kind of just want you to shut up and stop saying things that they don't like, unless of course they're in the process of exploiting your labor in a foreign country, in which case they want you to, either shut up or they'll put a bullet in your head. But anyway, but the fascists are actively trying to kill you all. So if you're one of the parties in between, like you're caught in the middle between the NCR and the Legion, you want the NCR to win completely over the Legion, because every advantage that the Legion gets is something that is going to directly and materially harm you and everyone that you care about, because they're fascists, so they are going to hurt people. Every time they get even the slightest victory, it's bad for you, and it's bad for basically everyone, right? It's even bad for them. Like, weirdly enough. The way fascists are kind of a weird demographic of people who actively work against their own self-interest, because it's a suicidal philosophy. But, at any rate, so when it comes to the war effort against the Legion, like, you definitely want the NCR to be in as good a position as possible. Putting them in a stronger position against the Legion does not necessarily strengthen their position against the locals here. It kind of depends, because they're very bureaucratic, and bureaucracies, just because, like...
We've got a situation with some bad cons right now. The Brass of McCarran has ordered me to lock down the ruins until it's been resolved.
So, and I'm just going to point this out because it's kind of interesting. It's easy to think that when two empires are fighting over territory, that territory, the people who live there, it's in their best interest to keep the balance of power equal. But the more equal the balance of power is between the two empires, the higher the likelihood that you just get razed to the ground and everyone's killed. What you actually want is for one of those two sides to clearly have the advantage over the other, completely crush the opposition, and then not consider your location enough of a threat to invest resources into. And you're basically looking to do a morale game. You don't want them to desire to invest into your territory because they don't see your location as a strategic interest and they don't have any like there. Now, obviously, in practice, this is not something that you can always implement. There's a lot of difficulty with that, and like if you look at the geopolitical situation in the real world, like if you've got oil, your country's going to get raised, and then it's going to get raised again in 10 years, and then it's going to get raised again in 10 years. It's just going to keep getting raised because, yay, imperialism. But, like, if you're just some shithole out in the middle of nowhere that doesn't have any resources that nobody cares about except for the fact that they wanted to avoid the expansion of another group, you don't want the power balance to be strong. You want there to be one party that is just completely dominant, so that the other side stops investing resources into taking over your like useless terrain. That's what you really want. And you don't want the people who take over your country to be the people that are going to kill and enslave everyone. So it's a pretty easy decision here. So what's going on with the Great Khans?
One of my patrols was on its way back from Novak when it came under fire from the Great Khans. They radioed for reinforcements, but instead of waiting for us, they chased the Khans into the ruins where they were caught in a crossfire. No deaths, but not all the squad got out. The Khans have Private Ackerman and Private Gilbert as hostages.
Okay. What are you going to do with those?
Acceptable casualties, I've been told. I don't like it, but the brass has their reasons.
I might be a little bit of a
Normally I'd turn you down since I have no idea who you are. But considering that the hostages are as good as dead when we attack. Alright. I'm going to give you a chance to talk to the Great Khans. Their leader is a man named Jessup. If we hear shooting, we'll be coming in. But it'll probably be too late for you.
Okay. I gotcha.
Good luck.
I'm not sure if I should save this or not, because I might have just triggered some sort of event that, like, is on a time limit or something. I might want to reload back. So where are they? They're in Boulder City somewhere. Give me a second. I don't have a huge amount of speech, to be honest. Oh, this is a look. Okay, this is its own individual location. Oh, there's just like a whole set piece battle that's been set up here. That's pretty cool. So you got a bunch of the NCR folks here. I'm not getting shot by anyone. How is this a thing? Okay. I guess the Khans announced were like, so legitimately speaking, and from a technical perspective, it's not worth implementing. But from a practical perspective, you can expect that the only way that I'm going to get in to talk to their leader is if basically these guys are going to send someone over who's going to grab hold of me, or like I'm going to be disarmed and completely like neutralized before I get there. This sniper with me just walking in here is just going to shoot me. I call him a sniper. He has an Uzi, I think, but regardless, like that guy's just going to shoot me. There's no way on earth that guy doesn't just shoot me. This is a very easy lock. I'm going to unlock it. And the reason I'm going to unlock it is because I feel like I should.
Hope the NCR doesn't send reinforcements from the dam.
I'm going to start doing hard saves exclusively and hope that I don't accidentally press F5. Because if I accidentally press F5, I'll be trapped here. Okay. Alright, I'm going to leave them tied up for now. So, there is a Great Khan there. There's another Great Khan up here. I don't have...
The NCR sure did a number on this place.
The NCR blew this place up?
The NCR sure did a number on this place.
Fuck Benny. We'll make him pay for stabbing us in the back.
Interesting. No, I'm no longer well rested. I want my XP. So this is a
What the
specific
hell?
location.
You're that courier Benny wasted back in Good Springs. You're supposed to be dead.
Are you the dude with the crazy expressions? I think he is. I think he's the dude who was like... I could be wrong, because he doesn't have the crazy expressions, but I think he had hair like this. I got better.
And here I thought us great cons were tough to kill. So, what happens now?
Where's the platinum chip?
Don't have it. Benny stole it right before he stabbed us in the back.
Shit!
He's probably back at the strip by now, laughing at me.
Alright. Sorry, what's settling things between you and the
Let's
NCR?
negotiate. The NCR backs off, we walk out of here, nobody gets hurt.
I'm willing to hear this.
We try to bribe our way out, but seeing as how Benny didn't pay us yet, that won't happen.
Any chance you're willing to surrender? Ha.
And face NCR justice? No thanks. I'd rather not spend the next 10 years doing hard labor.
Silence
Fine.
evidence. Alright. Let's more answers.
Yeah? On what?
Why did Betty betray you?
He's a snake, that's why. He owed us the rest of the pay for the job, so maybe he didn't want to pay up.
Seems reasonable to expect. Can you tell me about Benny?
He's one of the chairmen, big shots that run the Tops Casino in New Vegas. A friend from the city contacted me with info on a big job. I should have known that the caps were too good to be true. There was still no way I could pass up the chance.
So what do you know about the platinum chip?
Just a big fancy poker chip as far as I know. Don't know why anyone would make one out of platinum though.
Okay.
Fine.
Oh! I've been misinterpreting this entire time. So the platinum chip... I thought that they sent a bunch of random bullshit out, and then the platinum chip, which was like an electronic chip. It's a gambling chip. It's a gambling chip made out of platinum. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, go on.
Alright, so this guy, I might actually be able to get some meaningful negotiation going with. So what do I want to do here? If I have 45 speech skill, I can just outright talk to this guy and get it done. Lockpicking further than what I've got right now isn't going to help me much. It might help me eventually, but it's not going to help at this particular moment, so I don't need to necessarily worry about it. Because right now, if I use a magazine, that gives me plus 20. That allows me to do a medium lock. I haven't seen a thing that will benefit from medicine yet. I assume I'll have some stuff that needs medicine eventually, and that I'll need to do medicine checks, but I haven't seen that yet. Science is a valuable skill that I might want to invest in eventually. I think I might want to pump speech a bit. If I pump my speech a bit, I feel like I get the ability to complete this thing, just get those hostages released, and I might even be able to convince the other people on the other side to not, like, murder all these people. I am going to pump science and survival. I don't know a lot about the Great Khans. I know that they make drugs, but everyone uses like stim packs and things like that are incredibly vital in this world. I don't understand what illegal means in this context, right? Like, there's a lot of performance enhancing drugs in this game. I don't know what kind of like drugs that are addictive, but which do not have like direct tangible advantages and reasons why you would want to use them. exist in this setting. So, like, as an example, I think all the drugs in this game are actually, like, addictive substances, but they all give you pretty sizable boosts to your statistics. That's not really true of the way that, like, street drugs work in reality. In reality, street drugs do not help you. Like, their entire existence is to get you addicted so that you come back for more. They don't make you better at anything. Like, to be perfectly clear. There might be certain advantages to certain types of drugs. Like, tobacco has maybe some advantages to it. The stuff that's in marijuana, what is it? HTC, is that what it is? I don't even remember like which components there are. But like some of the components of marijuana might have some benefits in certain contexts. And that's true for a lot of drugs, right? There's a lot of drugs that are useful for a lot of things. But there doesn't seem to be a clear distinction between medical drugs and drugs like that have some sort of like explicit utility, and drugs that are used for what is called recreational drugs. But I think that there's a big difference between recreational drugs that are not addictive, so things like marijuana, and drugs who really, their primary purpose is to get you to become addicted to them so that you have to come back to the dealer. And I think that most of the like harsher drugs, including tobacco, by the way, fall under that category. I don't think that tobacco is really a recreational drug in the same sense that like something like marijuana is. And I don't know enough about like psychedelics and things like that, but a psychedelic I could see being legitimately classified as a recreational thing. Whereas something like tobacco is like, okay, well, the purpose of this is to get you addicted so that you get stressed out whenever you don't have it, and then you can claim that smoking reduces stress. And it's like, well, I mean, for addicts it certainly does. Anyway, that random thing aside, so I don't really know enough about these people to know whether like these guys are like completely irredeemable or whatever. Like this guy obviously like was involved in murdering me. So, I mean, this guy is a murderer. Though, to be fair, he seemed really shocked about the whole thing, and he didn't necessarily seem all that into the whole murder thing. So, there is that. He didn't exactly stop the guy who was murdering me. And I would say that he definitely aided and abetted me. I think that in a court of law, this guy would definitely be convicted of murder. But I don't know that that necessarily means that I need to kill him and everyone who's here with him. Not the other people who are here are not complicit in his crimes, and me murdering him in front of them would definitely result in them coming after me. Which would result in, obviously, all of them dying because I'm just such a badass. So, let's see here. When the sun is down, you get 2 int in perception. Finesse, you have a higher chance to score a critical hit on opponents in combat, equivalent to 5 extra points of luck. That's kind of cool. I had another thing that I was thinking about getting, right? This could be very, very valuable. Ferocious Loyalty, don't really need it. What was the thing? Oh, do I not have it? No, I do. I do have enough for that, right? It's not strong back. Stonewall. So, Stonewall, you gain 5 damage threshold against all melee weapons and unarmed attacks, and cannot be knocked down in combat. So, this would apply to basically all of the really dangerous animals that I would be facing off with, which is great. It gives me plus 5 damage threshold against them. I haven't been knocked down in combat yet, so it's tempting to be like, well, how useful is this going to be if I've never been knocked down in combat? At a certain point, I'm going to start getting knocked down in combat. Something is going to be able to knock me down. And the second that I come up against an enemy that can knock me down in combat, that will be basically the end. That's the end of my ability to fight. Because if I get knocked down once, I am absolutely dead. So I feel like Stonewall might be something that I want to immediately get. Let's see. Do I need more speech skill to get Animal Friend? Where's Animal Friend? Animal Friend requires 45 survival. So I'm not going to be getting this level, but I might be able to get it next level. Or not next level, but at level Thinger. So I think I'm going to try to get this at level 12. We'll see. There might be other stuff that's more important. This is kind of terrifying. Like, this might be, like, ridiculously overpowered. I don't actually know. Let's see here. Light touch might be kind of cool. So heavy armor is just a new thing. You learn to customize light armor for maximum benefit. So you get 5% crit chance and minus 25% enemy crit chance while wearing leather armor. That's going to require that I get my repair up. Shining armor. This is hilarious. This is the silliest. I love this feat. This feat just makes me so happy. Or perk, rather, not feat. It's the same thing, right? So this perk, beams reflect off the mirror-like finish of your gleaming armor. You gain an additional 5 damage threshold against energy weapons while wearing any metal armor, and +2 while wearing reflective eyewear. So if I'm wearing glasses, the beam weapons will bounce off of my eyeballs, and that is hilarious. That to me is just, that's the kind of thing that I want to see more of. That kind of a thing just sounds hilarious and awesome. All right, I think I have enough speech now that I can.
I'm getting real tired of talking.
All right, let's talk about ways of settling things between you and the NCR. Free the hostages now, and I'll have the NCR escort you out of their territory.
I can't believe I'm doing this. But all right, the hostages can go. The NCR had better keep their end of the deal, though. Here, a souvenir for you. It's Benny's lighter. Shove it up his ass when you catch up with him.
Okay. So I'm going to try to resolve this in a peaceful way. If I can't get the NCR to agree to this, I legitimately don't know what I want to do. I don't remember what the whole story was between their conflict here. I don't know. Like, I legitimately just do not know what I want to do about this. If the NCR can't be convinced to let those guys out, then do I want to fight the NCR over it? I legitimately do not actually know. Because I don't remember what they did. I don't know why they're here and what's going on.
I'm glad you're able to get my people freed, but there's a new problem. I just got orders to take out the Great Khans, hostages or not.
Okay. They let the hostages go in exchange for their freedom.
My hands are tied. I can't go against orders, can I?
If you have any integrity, you'll honor the deal.
Correct. Great Khans are free to go.
I don't even need to make a speech check for it because he wanted to do it in the first place. Okay, perfect. So we managed to get that resolved. And that's great. Ham radio's activated. And let's turn it back off. So okay, this situation is hypothetically resolved for now. So that's great that we managed to resolve this situation. Private Gilbert, Private Ackerman.
Man, I thought I was dead for sure.
Thanks for the rescue.
Okay, cool beans.
Still got a bit of a walk ahead of us. Talk fast.
What?
Yeah, go.
So this will help to sort of like basically try to align all of the various groups against the Legion, which I think is important. Like, I think that is extremely important. The Legion, to me, seems super dangerous. We're cut off from the platoon, and there are legionaries all over legionnaires all over this. There's no chance we can get out of here before they blow the town, so we're gonna hold out against them as long as we can. Oh, right, the NCR led the Legion into this town and then blew up the town. Okay, so we're told to hold out against them as long as we can. If anyone ever gets this, I'd like to make sure that Private Jeffrey Hui? I think it's Hui. And Corporal Marcus Christensen are commended for their valor and sacrifice. Both of them upheld the ideals and honor of the new Republic, the new California Republic with distinction. Ranger Teresa Lutz out. It's a service rifle. So, okay, I don't apparently pick it up for some reason. That's fine. Hopefully I got the message in my message log somewhere so that I can deliver the message to whoever it is that I needed to deliver that to. Let's see here. I did take my meds today, just confirming. Every now and then when I'm like particularly forgetful, I just like have to look at my like med thing and go, did I take you today? Yes. One of the issues with having things like ADHD is that it's very damaging and very harmful and very obvious when you are suffering from the symptoms of it. But at the same time, the symptoms of it are things that just happen. Being forgetful is not in and of itself demonstration of ADHD. You can forget things for other reasons. So, and like, it's just one of those things where it's like trying to figure out like where the
Hello again. Is there...
where the
Bye.
like line between. Hey, buddy.
Fancy meeting you here, friend.
Yeah, fancy meeting you here, Victor. Let's see. Good to see you again, Victor.
Yeah. This is getting mighty embarrassing. People gonna start to talk.
Okay. So, how'd you get here?
Just rolling along on my spurs. Looks like I just might make it to New Vegas after all.
Looks like it. See what happened in there?
Yep. Guess it's just down to you and Fancy Pants. I wouldn't worry about him. He looks all hat and no cattle against me.
Did you see Benny coming here?
Fancy Pants? No, I ain't seen hide and hair of him since the tussle in Good Springs. I'm sure he ran back to the soft living of New Vegas, though.
Alright.
Look
See you
me
later.
up when you get to New Vegas. I'll buy the first round.
By the way, one thing that I think is actually critically important here. At this point, this has been a very circuitous route that I've taken. I am clearly being monitored. At this point, if this character had any sense, they would be going to a doctor, and not the doctor who worked on us in Good Springs, but a different doctor, and saying, I am being tracked by a robot. I'm concerned I have a tracking device implanted in my body because it started following me when I got surgery. And it was present there, and I don't know much about this robot. I'm a little concerned that I have a tracking device. Can you check my body for tracking devices, please? And most doctors probably don't have the skill set or capacity to do that, but I would make it a priority to get that done wherever it's possible to do it. And anyway, that's just my thinking. Like when I see him here, the previous times that I saw him, I saw him while he was like clearly on his way to where, I'm going or whatever, right? I know that he's like a type of robot that's from New Vegas, like his type, so he could have something that's calling him back to New Vegas or whatever. He could literally just be following the same path that I'm following. The fact that I keep seeing him, especially with the weird ass routes that I've been taking everywhere, and the fact that this is kind of on the way to New Vegas but not really, it is the kind of thing that would, for me, immediately give me red flags, where I already have red flags about this guy. I might, if I was actually being like tracked by this guy in real time, right? Because it's been weeks at this point. The second or third time that I saw him when I was nowhere near the thing, I might immediately just go, you know what? I'm clearly being followed. I don't think he's actually followed. I don't see how he could be that stealthy, so he's got to have some way of tracking me. And just trying to identify if I have a tracking device either on my person, in my personal effects, which is the most obvious answer, but that's easy enough to check. Like that's something you would do pretty much immediately. But by this point, you would say, do I have a tracking device in my body because of that surgery? Okay, we have a Scorpion here, so this is actually a... this is not quite what I expected. The issue here is that I don't have a lot of space to play with. And it's down on the ground. I think it got knocked out. I don't think it just got knocked over. We're actually almost level 11. We've basically like skipped a whole level from that 1,000 experience we got for tracking down the main quest. So this is average. I think that's 50, yes. So we need 50 science to do this. I have a Nuka-Cola available. Don't want to take it. I'm going to take the Sunset Sarsaparilla. The jury is out on whether I'm going to allow myself to use Sunset Sarsaparilla in the future. Again, the fact that I have all of this, what's the word? The fact that I have the ability to sleep, it changes the dynamic, right? It fundamentally changes the dynamic of the way that things work, right? Every time I sleep, I'm automatically going to heal. I'm not going to sleep in random like buildings just to avoid that. I think it's kind of fun to go back and maybe talk to my NPCs, like all that kind of stuff is something that I would prefer to do. I want that experience. I don't want the experience of just like running around and trying to track down a bed that won't heal me, or having to go back to Good Springs all the time. Because I also do want to be... Ooh. So we got those stalker things over there. That is a lot of water. We got some trail mix here. That gives... Oh my god, look how good that is. I'm going to take it. I'm probably just going to put it away because it's way too good, but interesting. Nope, those guys are fighting those stalker things over there now, which I'm not going to worry about. Usually I don't want random NPCs fighting each other, but this is like legit wilderness, and every now and then people are going to be fighting each other. You just have to accept that, I guess, in this game. So, let's see here. We are currently just outside of Boulder City. Do we want to... Yes, we need to now get back to the main road, and then we're going to head down toward Helios 1. Do I want to follow this road there? I guess I'll follow this road there for now. I am going to do a hard save. And we're now getting very close to the recommended level for the DLC that we were at. We're going to be about 3 levels under the recommended level for it. And I would say that seems... I don't know. I'd say that's about optimal for me. Like, that seems like I'm not so low that I'm worried that I'm going to be unable to complete it. Because I think that when you go on the DLC, it like basically is just taking you to a completely different area that's like a contained unit. I think that's how that works. So I don't really want to go into the DLC and then not be able to complete it, or have to like drop some of my restrictions or something like that. But I also don't want to go into the DLC and have it be kind of just like trivial. And the issue with recommended levels is that recommended levels are often extremely high for the actual content. They'll like recommend that you do something when it's easy, not when it's hard. So obviously I am doing pure fisticuffs, which is a little bit of a detriment, but it's not that much of a detriment, to be honest. It's not a huge deal with my setup. I am really tempted to put on thingers, like put on a disguise to hide from assassins, but I don't want to do that unless I have to, because of the fact that I'm out in the wilderness and
Howdy there, partner.
there's a lot of NCR here. Like, this is clearly NCR territory. What's your story, stranger?
My story's a long one, friend, and I can't say as it's all that interesting.
Still interested.
Well, I was born in a little town out Montana way. Me and Ma didn't have much ever since my pa up and left.
This is kind of funny. I'm tempted to say this and then reload afterward. This is terrible. By the way, like, the idea that someone says they're from Montana and their dad left them, and you just assume that they're your kid, is really incredibly terrible. Like, how terrible would you have to be to have that much unprotected sex that you think that random children from Montana who are 17 are yours? But at the same time, I want to say it because I want to see what it says. So I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna reload, and we're gonna talk to him again.
No, sir. I'm 28. Why?
So your father left?
That he did. Never did know why. Ma always said he was a real mysterious fella, even when he was with her. Like he was a stranger sometimes.
Sounds like you missed him. Is that what you're ready?
Maybe. Maybe I just never felt like I belonged back home.
Let's see. It's been hard growing up with a
It sure wasn't easy. Ma worked her fingers to the bone to make sure we had enough to survive. And I worked the coal mines from when I was 15. After Ma died, I guess I wanted to find my pa and get some answers from him. Been out here looking ever since. But he ain't an easy man to find.
What will you do when you find him?
Can't say as I really know. Maybe I'll just ask him why. Maybe I'll punch him right in the mouth.
Maybe both.
The more I talk about it, the more the whole damn thing sounds like a dumb idea.
I mean, apparently I don't have the ability to give him the advice to just, like, keep on with his search. You should move on. Something maybe.
Maybe I should. Don't suppose you know any place a fella with a guitar might find a job, huh?
Can't say I do.
Well, it was worth a shot.
Interesting. Why are you playing guitar?
Oh, this old thing? Why, thanks, friend. This here guitar is just about the only thing my daddy left me.
Let's see. Have you been playing one?
Just about my whole life. Ever since my daddy left Ma and me and went off to roam the wastes. So long, friend.
Interesting. So we've now seen multiple people who have who are musicians looking for work, and we haven't found the location to deliver them to, but I presume that we eventually will. I'm curious about what's going on with these ants. They're ostensibly hostile. This guy hasn't aggroed on them, or vice versa. They might be like coyotes. Oh, these are worker ants. They wouldn't be that aggressive, right? Okay. Somebody.
Howdy.
So this merc is working for who?
Over here.
Oh boy.
You like that?
Oh my god, it's the Legion Assassins. Okay, that's funny. It's one of them anyway. At some point, you're gonna get unconscious, and then I might have to get you. Okay. You're not hostile to me. Why is the game trying to get me to fight you? There we go. Why is this 0%? Doesn't make any sense. I'm so confused right now. There we go. So the game got confused. Not gonna worry about it too much. Either way, let's stomp this guy on the ground. I'm gonna try to avoid that guy's suppressing fire. I'm not gonna worry too much with this assassin attacking me and getting like shot up by this other guy. The fact that the other guy's shooting him, I'm not gonna worry about it. We've already taken out these assassins once. I'm legitimately unconcerned with fighting them. Could you please not shoot me while you're trying to shoot the guy on the ground? Punch him in the crotch and punch him in the crotch and punch him in the crotch. This guy actually hasn't gotten back up, which is indicative that it might be that if you keep hitting them with something that reduces their stamina, they actually can just never get their thinger back. So this is kind of nice. Got some healing powder. That merc, who is working for somebody, but I don't know who, helped me out. Is that more? Yep, that's the rest of the assassins. I'm not going to worry about them. It looks like the assassin's de-aggroed now, and the guy who I just killed is probably the one who's gonna re-aggro them. Like, he's the one who talks to me, I think. So, easy peasy. Open the garbage can. And I'm not gonna worry about those assassins. Okay, that is not an explosive. It looks like an explosive, but I think it's a drug. Oh god, that's not great. I don't like to put it here. I'm actually gonna reload this. I think this. Yeah, I'm gonna reload this. I don't want this guy getting killed because he wandered into the assassins. What I'm gonna do is, if I get in here quickly enough, I think that I can like avoid having those guys, because they're now kind of all despawned. I can hopefully get the assassins to just despawn, because they just spawn randomly, and then I won't have to worry about that guy fighting them and getting himself killed. And bottle cap, bottle cap, bottle cap, bottle cap, starter bottle cap, yeast, fruit, pork and beans. Water. Missiles? I'm gonna take those missiles. I don't know what I'll use them for, but probably gonna have to just drop them off eventually. But that's interesting. Let's see. Dirty water here. Save the game. This crate is empty. 2 submachine guns. These are so expensive. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna pop out here. Hopefully that guy is not still fucking around with the assassins. The assassins are good. That's what I was looking for. I'm looking for the assassins to despawn because no longer relevant. Oh boy. That's a sizable problem. Interestingly enough, I did mitigate all the damage of that, so I have sufficient TR to quite protected. I don't know how strong these guys are. Is that guy aggro? Yeah, he's aggro. Oh no, he's gonna get that the Merc down now? Where's the Merc? Is he alive? Is the Merc alive? Yes, the Merc seems to be alive. Okay, I was not expecting to get shot to death while I was approaching that other guy. That was actually very surprising. So... Caution. Not in danger. They are going to be approaching this direction, which is a concern. So there are some shady things that I could do to protect that Merc. Hypothetically, that Merc is approaching this direction. That Merc is gonna die. Maybe. I'm gonna drink some water. I can't afford to allow myself to be dehydrated because it actually reduces my unarmed skill. So these guys over here are... I'm gonna go ahead and save my finger because... That's fine. Does this guy have a Santa hat on? No. Oh, this is the Viper leader. Okay, so this is the guy that really needs to go down. Oh, nice. So this is the guy who basically shot me to death. Oh, did that guy die? Okay, I think the Merc just died, which means... Wow, that was so fast. Alright. If I want to protect that Merc from randomly dying... I don't even know what he's here for. Like, what is his purpose? Yeah, I'm gonna reload. If I want to protect the Merc, because I think that I could take these guys on my own. Like, I don't think this Merc is like protecting me, and I'm just trying to avoid the Merc dying. Because I do think that I could easily. The other ones have like machine guns that don't do enough damage to get through my DR in a meaningful way.
The NCR took back Nelson. Maybe they can win this war after all.
Like, the fact that he's going that way is a problem for me. Maybe I can just stop him from going this way. If I slow him down, because they're going that direction, so I can just slow him down. No, they're just meandering around. So inevitably, he's going to come into conflict with them. Which means that if I want to save him, I do actually need to dive into this. So they just shot. Okay. Okay, this is not the leader. Okay, I'm gonna try knock the leader over. Either way, I'm doing extra damage, so maybe I'll be able to knock his gun out of his hand, etc. But what we're doing right now is actually sort of like a rescue mission for the guy over there. Okay, I need to drop this gun that I just picked up. Is that what I just picked up? That is an expensive weapon, actually. Okay, this guy's on the ground. I'm gonna try to do... Okay, I can only do a triple stomp. But yeah, if I can knock him out... Alright, it doesn't matter. I don't need to knock him out because he did. Never mind, he's not unconscious. I'm a dope. I got the 100 experience and thought that that was from fighting him, but that's actually from getting the achievement. Alright. So Viper leader's taken out. Take the bottle cap. Leather armor reinforced. We're going to take that. We can use that to repair our existing thing. We got a submachine gun. We got a bandana. I'm going to take the bandana. Now we need to go to apparel and reinforce. Where's this? That's not the... So here's something interesting. So I just got the achievement Jury Rigger. Fun fact, the term is jerry rig, not jury rig. Jury rigging is a very serious crime. Jerry rigging is when you just cobble something together. You jerry rig a contraption. I didn't learn this until I was an adult. I didn't learn that, I think, until sometime within the last 5 years, actually. It took me a very long time to realize that the term was actually jerry rig. And I was a little confused about, like, what on earth is the origin of this term that jury rigged is like cobbling something together. And it's not. It's jerry rigging something, which is a totally different thing. I do not actually remember what the original etymology for it is. But regardless of what the original etymology for it is, definitely not as bad as what the etymology would be if it was jury rigging. That would definitely be worse. Let's see. There's not really a lot of good etymological origins for a term like jury rigging. That would be very, very bad. Okay, so these guys were just hanging out by some toxic pools. This guy's gonna go walk into them. Hopefully, I don't think that NPCs can die of radiation poisoning in this game, which is good because they have a tendency to just stand around radiation pools. It would be. Could you imagine, like, if you just like went super full cheese and decided to kill every single enemy with radiation poisoning just by luring them into puddles and shit? I'm sure there's some enemies that you wouldn't be able to do that to, but and obviously I think things like rad roaches are like immune. I think ghouls are probably immune, like canonically. Though maybe not. Maybe there is high enough radiation stuff that is dangerous even to them. I don't actually know. There's solar panels here. Those are reasonably useful. And let's see. I do want to get some gear that isn't... Is it just me or the NCR not, like,
this is a restricted area. State
take
your
very
business.
good care of their dogs? Okay. Let's see. I wanted to check in the troopers stuff before it came from
Yeah,
her.
they were here a while ago. Gave them all I could, which wasn't much. But as many problems as we're having here, I know they've got it worse. I've seen soldiers get assigned there. It's like they got told they were gonna die. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. If you're trying to track them down, we put a GPS marker in the supply crate. You can track it with your Pip-Boy. Good luck.
Okay. Shouldn't there be more poor people than this defending a power plant?
There should, but we're not getting much power out of it, so none of our enemies have big interest in it either. Not like Hoover Dam, anyway. We had a real fighting force here just long enough to take it from the Brotherhood of Steel. Then they got sent east to the dam like everybody else. Caesar's Legion sends skirmishers every so often, prodding for weaknesses mostly. The reality is, if they really wanted it, we'd all be dead.
Oh, why was Brother interesting?
Damned if I know. Put up a hell of a fight, though. We had them outnumbered, I don't know, 20 to 1 maybe? They held out as long as they could, lost most of their force before they retreated. Gave us a little parting gift, too. They had some of the plant running, but they shut it all down. Enabled an old security system, too, to keep us away from the controls. Jerk-offs.
I mean, I feel like you probably can't complain about them turning off the reactor that you stole from them by force. Like that... What? You invaded their territory and now you're complaining that they made things complicated for you after you stole all their property? Like, come on, man. Let's see here. Do I want to go to the power plant? Sure, why not?
Why would I want to let you do that?
I don't have a reason.
I'm glad we sorted this out. Later.
Okay. I don't know why you'd let me, but if you have a reason that you don't want to let me in, that's fine. I'm just asking. Let's see. So they don't want to let me into the power plant, and that's, you know, fine or whatever. I do now have to use my Pip-Boy to track these people. And that actually, in this context, makes perfect sense. So they are directly in... So they took a very direct path, it looks like. And again, because of the fact that this is a supplies issue, and supplies are things that need to be, you know, found and dealt with, like this is like legitimately a life and death situation, and it's time critical. I am going off to do that. At some point today, I'm going to be doing the DLC. I keep delaying starting up the DLC because I'm doing something else that seems more critical. And I do think that I'm going to have to start it up after this, though. So those are some big Geks. What the fuck is that? Those things are so fast. So, unless there's some really weird forced perspective shit going on here. So it looks like bugs crawling around over there, is what that looks like. But those are fully functioning windmills. Windmills are like... these windmills are probably 20 feet tall, 30 feet tall, 40 feet tall, something like that. Look how huge these are relative to the size of those windmills. Like, those aren't replicas of windmills. That's really far... those things are enormous. Those things are gigantic. And they are moving very fast. So we've got a trio of Geks on us. I don't know how big these Geks are. You're a fire gecko. That's a problem. Okay, I'm dead then. If this is just a trio of fire geckos, I'm completely fucked. You know what? I'll allow myself to be burned to death. That's fine. There we go. Okay. I did not actually get burned to death, but, you know, it's still appropriate. So these things are going to be super fast. They're going to be hard to deal with, and with 3 of them, I don't think there's any way that I'm going to be doing that now. So I am going to have to come in here in a slightly more sneaky way if I want to get over there. So I do have confirmation, though, that I am now fighting things like these fire geckos. And that indicates to me that I'm in a whole different classification of difficulty in terms of like how hard the area is compared to the golden geckos and things like that from before. Because these are way stronger than the golden geckos, I think. I would be very surprised if fire geckos were weaker than golden geckos. It's hypothetically possible, but it seems weird to have like a mid-tier enemy be given like a special ability and then take it away from the higher tier ones, you know? I could see it being done, but again, it seems like a weird decision to make. So WTF might. Are these fire geckos the source of the thing? No. So there's crates here. I am hidden. I'm now in caution. Supply shipment. Oh god. What? Who the fuck are you? So these are recruits. So this is actually meant to attack me here. Well, you know, maybe y'all should have thought about the consequences of your actions when... I thought they just got killed by those fire geckos. Okay, well. This is kind of hilarious. This guy is dead already. So who else is here? There's somebody else over there. I think that's just one of those other bugs, though. And again, normally I would, like, try to prevent having the enemies fight each other in this way, right? But I think it's kind of funny that they sprouted, they like spawned an ambush on me. They like tried to assault me. They're apparently completely invisible, even though I literally came from the place where I have perfect vision of my surroundings, so I don't know where the fuck they were supposed to be hiding, but whatever. And then, like, they immediately trigger aggro on a fire gecko and just get obliterated. I think that's funny enough to allow it to stand. Also, they weren't very strong, so... let's see here. Though, I guess the fire gecko was kind of strong, so it's kind of shitty that I'm getting a free kill on a fire gecko. But you know what? It's fine. So we can search the thinger. I'm going to go ahead and take their dog tags. Okay. I have a lot of forlorn. Were there 3 of them? Oh my god, they got just obliterated by the wildlife here. That was pretty amusing, actually. Alright, so now we have the ability to continue going, I guess. I'm not going to try to go over there yet. This is a pretty high-level area. I'm not actually wearing my armor that I should be wearing. I've taken a lot of damage, actually. So I think what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep while I'm in the DLC. I might actually allow myself to heal. Were they really close to the... Were they really close? Is this Forlorn Hope? Oh, no. That is so sad. They were so close. Alright, so now we just need to talk to the quartermaster. The quartermaster? Nope. I don't know what you look like. You're all wearing the same uniform. You the quartermaster? Nope. Dehydration level has increased. Dr. Richards. You seem to be covered in blood.
I hear you defeated the Legion forces at Nelson. I'm impressed and thankful. It'll make my job around here much easier.
No, things at the game.
Things are better now that the Legion at Nelson have been defeated.
Things look pretty rough in here.
Men have waged war on each other for countless centuries. Now is no different. People fight and die for what they believe in. I'm just here to patch them up so they can go on their merry way. Do no harm in all that.
You seem to be handling it
I'm
well.
doing the best I can considering the poor situation I find myself in. There's barely enough equipment or medicine to handle the number of injuries we have. To make things worse, I think someone might be stealing my supplies.
Ooh. What makes you think someone was stealing your supplies?
The simple fact that I no longer have as many supplies as I should. I've been careful with them, and I should have more than what remains. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go searching for the missing supplies since I have my hands full with injured soldiers.
I can look into it.
That would definitely be appreciated. You might want to ask around. Keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
Alright, so we figured out what was that guy was sneaking around in the middle of the night doing. He was nowhere near here, though. So maybe it wasn't even him, actually. It could have been someone else. Also, this is a situation that there's an easy answer to.
I really don't have time to chat.
If he tells his commanding officer that, like, medical supplies are missing, they will just search everyone for the medical supplies. You just say, hey, I'm missing these medical supplies. They'll just search everybody's belongings. You don't need to catch them in the act, you just need to find that they have your medical supplies. What happened to Boulder City?
Destroyed during the Battle of Hoover Dam a couple years ago. The town was set up as a trap for Caesar's Legion. The sharpshooters and the Rangers picked off the Legion's veterans from a distance, and the rest of the Legion just rushed on in. And boom.
Okay. Can you tell me about the Hoot?
It's one of the biggest sources of electrical power in the region, so the NCR's fortified the place pretty heavily. When President Kimball shows up on his inspection tour, I'm sure he'll be confident that the dam's safe and secure.
Excuse me. I'm working for the
Camp McCarran is the headquarters for the NCR military in this region. It occupies the old airport next to New Vegas.
President's coming to Hoover,
It's
right?
probably just a political thing. You know, give a few speeches, shake hands with the troops, boost morale.
Anything you tell me about the Quick Shots?
They're an outlaw group primarily trafficking in drugs and other contraband. They usually stay out of NCR territory.
If they stay out of NCR territory, then how can you say that they're outlaws?
All right.
Right? Like,
Sir?
if they're not in your territory, they are not outlaws. They can only be outlaws if there is a law to be disobeying. Right? Trafficking drugs is only a crime if there is a state to enforce the law. There is no state. So what are they committing? Who are they committing crimes against? So, like, you can have, like, if you're in a town, someone can break the law because your town is the state, right? They have, like, rules and regulations. Like, even if there's five people get together, they decide, oh, this person committed a crime. And it's true because the people of the town said
If it
so.
isn't the guy that defeated the Legion at Nelson. I can't thank you enough. Morale around here has never been higher.
Yay. What's your assignment?
I've been placed in charge of morale. It's difficult trying to keep spirits up with the Legion nearby. In fact, there's more hope in wrangling Brahmin with my grandmother's stocking than inspiring these troopers.
Have you actually tried that?
It's a long story. Let's just say whiskey makes you do strange things to impress a girl. But it also leads to some of my best competition ideas. Want to hear one?
Hell yeah.
Great. Since the camp is threatened by Legion, I propose a hunt. Kill any you encounter, and bring me the Legion's ear as proof. You get it? Legion ear?
Okay, sure, why not?
Great. Don't be surprised if you're already last when you return. If I'm right, the troopers will use any excuse to slaughter Legion's scum. Can I help you with anything else?
Okay. I heard anything
About the shortage of Hydra, right? We all have our own ways to deal with this place. Me, I sometimes walk at night. Calms the nerves. I think Private Stone does the same thing.
What makes you think that?
I sometimes see him wandering around the camp. Oh, he seems to need more time to himself. His cot's still empty when I return after midnight. Did you need anything else?
That's
Lower than a feral ghoul's IQ.
okay.
See you later.
Okay, so Private Stone.
Nelson's back in our hands. I hope we can... I've heard of you. Did you figure on coming out here and helping us lowly troopers out?
Let's see. You know anything about the missing supplies?
Missing medical supplies? No, I don't know anything about that.
I want to do this. I'm gonna use my one of my magazines because this will be funny. You look a bit sick there, friend. You may be going through withdrawal. So, give me a second. What is it called? Today's food. Let's do it.
We're all gonna die out here.
Dilated eyes, increased heart rate. I think you took the drugs.
What? Oh shit, how the fuck? Oh man, I'm in some deep shit now. Look, I can explain everything. Really, just give me a chance to explain.
This better be
Have you
good.
looked around? Have you seen what's going on here? What we're going through?
Is that literally your
This
explanation?
place is hell. I've seen all my friends butchered by the Legion in front of my very eyes. I can still hear their screams at night. All I wanted was a little escape, so I took some drugs to help me do that. Is that so bad?
Yeah, what about the people that are getting butchered?
I never thought about that. Look, I needed this. I needed to escape for just a little while. I needed this. So what happens now?
I want you to turn yourself in.
What? You want me to turn myself in? Why the hell should I do that?
So I need to get speech as well.
Haven't you heard anything I've said? Don't you understand? Hey, maybe I can change your mind. I still have some drugs left over. They're all yours if you let me go.
Nope.
Fine. Be like that.
Interestingly enough, I can pump my speech more. Let's see. What do I want? I could pump my medicine a bit. What do I need right now? I needed survival 45. So is that what I want to do immediately? Or do I want to pump my speech a bit? If I do this, then I can do anything up to 75, hypothetically. I need to get my survival to 45 next level, but I can do that next level. I don't need to do it right now. I can get my repair to 30. I could pump my... Considering the fact that I'm getting this experience off of the medicine thing, I kind of just want to pump my medicine up to 40 from this. And then do this, I think. I'm not putting points into unarmed because it's already quite high, and I don't want to waste like books and things like that. Can I can't now talk to him again to try to convince him of this. So I think what I'm gonna do, I am gonna reload for this. I'm gonna use both of these magazines because I think it'll be cool. I do want to be doing like all of the things at the same time, so hopefully that's big. That's bigger. What was the thing called? Meeting people. So I think that that's enough.
Nelson's back in our hands.
Why am I slow?
I've heard of you.
That is pretty good. Injured men. I want you to turn yourself in. Hey, it's better if you turn yourself in rather than me turning you in. I mean, like, legitimately, I feel like this should not be a 60 speech required. I'm sorry. Having higher speech should be required for things that are complicated and difficult to convince someone of, not something like this where it's, look, either you turn yourself in or I will turn you in. Which of those environments is the one, which world do you want to be in? The one where you turned yourself in because you felt super bad, or the one where I turn you in? Like, that is like 10 speech maximum. I don't think you should even require a speech check for that because it's so damn easy to accomplish. Because he's not planning on stopping you from turning him in. He doesn't, I don't have to convince him of anything. All I have to do is say, no, I'm not going to take your offer, and then instantaneously, it's done. So I don't feel like I should need a speech check for this at all.
I'll do the right thing and turn myself in.
But yeah, because the reason that he would want to turn himself in is not because it's the right thing. It's legitimately just because it's in his best interest to do so. It is way better for him if he turns himself in. And that's easy to see. Like, no one is gonna look at the situation and go, you know what? I don't know, man. Maybe it's better for him if he doesn't turn himself in and is a dick to the person who turned him in. Why did I get hungry all of a sudden? Why did reloading make me so hungry? I'm kind of confused. I don't feel like I should be anywhere near this hungry. What just happened? Okay, So what do I want to eat? I don't have a lot of options. I could eat some more of Ruby's casserole. I think I might need to. I'm gonna take Ruby's casserole, drink some more purified water. I'm no longer hungry. Hey Patty Fresh, thanks for the follow. I should probably update my follow thing, shouldn't I? That is very old at this point.
Trolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. Thanks for setting me straight.
Indeed. Okay, so I still haven't found the person I came here to see. Got sidetracked by other nonsense. Let's see. But it is also kind of funny to that, like, the idea that this guy just, like, it didn't occur to him. Oh, you know? Okay, yeah, what happened? Somehow, like, hours and hours and hours seems to have passed because, like, look at my H2O is still not back to normal. What the fuck just happened? I'm at 330. What happened to me? I might need to go back to Good Springs to resolve this situation. Oh, does reading books, like, take time? Like, does it increase your hunger and thirst or something, as if you had spent time? I mean, that would make a degree of sense, but it doesn't indicate that in the tooltip anywhere, and I seem to be pretty much just in the same position. I'm very confused about what just happened there, but it's probably fine. It's a bug that hurts me, not a bug that helps me, so I don't have to give a shit about it. Let's see here. In some ways, I have a very easy life. Yeah, the restrictions are now having to change a bit because of the fact that I now have a consistent place to sleep and sleeping. So basically, because of the fact that the place that I'm sleeping before wasn't healing me, but even if I only rest for like 2 hours, I'm like fully healed in my own bed that I bought. I'm now like feeling like I want to allow myself to get that rest every time I get to the point where I'm sleep deprived, but that I want to actually kind of avoid healing myself too much with food and stuff like that. It's like it's an interesting dynamic. It's kind of an emerging phenomenon as I try to figure out ways to make my life harder for myself. So let's see here. So yeah, for now, I've been using the... I might actually end up, for the rest of the run, just using the taped hands for pretty much the whole rest of the run. That might actually be the way that I go about things from now on. Because I feel like I'm actually now powerful enough that I might be able to handle most things by just punching them with my thing. Dr.
I heard Private Stone turned himself in for stealing my medical supplies. You have my thanks.
Woot. Did I just level up again? No. No, right. Alright. What's the questions for you?
What would you like?
Tell me about yourself.
I used to be a doctor back in California, but a few years back I got suckered into doing military work because it was my patriotic duty. Back then, I, like many idealistic men before me, thought it was a great idea and was excited about making the world a better place with the NCR. Now I just want to get back home. I've had enough fighting and fixing up soldiers just to send them right back out to die to last a lifetime.
It's got to be a really rough life. Being the doctor, because the doctor's the one who sees everyone die, that has to be one of the most traumatic things.
Quite a bit, actually. I was stationed there nearby during the first Battle of Hoover Dam 4 years ago. I saw a lot of what happened firsthand.
It's rough.
You have no idea. It was a fierce battle. Lots of people died. Anyone with medical training had their hands full for weeks after the battle was finally over. During that time, I saw quite a few things I wouldn't mind forgetting about.
Tell me about the first battle.
The Legion attacked in full force. Chief Hamlin had the troopers fall back, pulling the enemy in before entrenching into secure positions. The Legion got bogged down, and Rangers and 1st Recon sharpshooters started taking out the Legion officers. They sent their best men to stop the Rangers and 1st Recon, but the Rangers pulled them into a trap at Boulder City and blew them all to hell. After that, the Legion's forces were in disarray and tried to retreat. However, our forces advanced rapidly and routed them, and that was that.
let's go through the previous questions. Let's see. Yeah, I was going back and forth with it, right? It's hard for me to balance because I always want to make things harder for myself, and eventually, if you make things too hard, it gets boring to watch. But in this particular context, the idea of having to go all the way back to Goodsprings or to track down a bed that I specifically did not own, to like specifically not sleep in my own bed, seemed like such a completely ridiculous idea. That's what really did it. Was it's like, okay, so I have a bed and I'm not allowing myself to sleep in my own bed because sleeping in my bed will heal me. There's something wrong with me. And I feel like in certain games, under certain circumstances, I probably would do just that. But in this game, I feel like it's fine. As long as I'm only sleeping in that bed when I get up to 200 fatigue, and I'm not like wasting a bunch of time getting my fatigue up. Excuse me. I'm not that concerned about it. So what's your take on the NCR?
My take? I try not to think about it. I got enough on my hands here.
All right.
Until we meet again.
Later. Still haven't found the quartermaster. So still have not found the quartermaster. We will, though. I'm sure it'll be fun. Yeah, I didn't actually realize that was like part of the hardcore rule set because I kind of forgot that. I'm looking over here. So the chat used to be with the camera, so when I looked at the chat, I was also looking at the camera, and now it's the opposite. So when I'm responding to something that I know someone said, I should be looking over here. It's all fine. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I didn't realize that was actually part of the hardcore thing. Because I forgot what all the rules of the hardcore run were. I didn't like. It's just, oh yeah, hardcore makes you more thirsty. Like the only thing that penetrated in my head was hardcore makes you more thirsty. That's the only thing that I actually remembered. The other stuff didn't seem like it was terribly relevant to me. Like it wasn't going to impact my run in any meaningful way, so I didn't have to care. And then I took my first nap at my house or my apartment, I guess. Took my first nap in my apartment and got fully healed, and I was like, oh, this is a problem. This changes things. I thought that I was only, like not healing because I was sleeping for 2 hours. And it turns out that if I sleep in my bed, I actually sleep longer than that. So, anyway, I'm easily amused, but it's all good. So where is the person I need? Wait, why is the doctor not in the medical center? Boy, that is Wait, I can diagnose injured troopers? Wait, what? Can I do a whole, like... Is there, like, a whole sub-thing where I can... If I have enough doctor skill, I can... What is my medicine at? Did I improve it? I did. It's up to 40 now. So if I can improve my medicine skill, I might be able to help these people. That's awesome. I did not think that was going to be a mechanic. Like, I wanted to increase my medicine skill, but, like, I didn't think that it was going to have that kind of an effect. That's awesome. Oh, right. Like, things like ammo having weight and stuff like that is not super important for Major Pilati.
I'm glad to see you here. We could definitely use your help. Watch.
Are you in combat or something? What's going on? This is the command center. What is going on? Okay, I thought that was a crouch. What the hell are you people aggroed on? There's something over here. Something hostile this way comes. Anybody? It's Dr. Richards. Okay. Alright, did I, like... Oh! Jesus! Hey, it's a bug. So with me taking out this bloat fly, does that fix them? Okay, I think I aggroed the bloat flies over here, maybe? That's gotta be it, yeah, because these things just shot me instantly, I think. So I'm gonna have to take out these bloat flies. Okay. Excuse you. And I don't think bloat flies are poisonous or anything, so I don't have to worry too much about that. Am I now out of combat? And is everybody else going to go back to their normal positions now? Probably. Okay, hopefully nobody broke off of that, like someone like ran outside and got killed by a death claw or something like that. That would really suck. I still don't know where the quartermaster is. I saw the quartermaster wandering around before. That's when I saw them. So if I can find where they sleep, that'll probably be where I need to. Why do you leave this toxic sludge everywhere? There's gotta be a way you could pump that out of your camp. Right? Your encampment. Shit. Private Sexton. Nice. That guy had better be in charge of navigation. Wait, Sexton. No, I'm thinking of Sextant. What's Sexton? Is he just that sexy? Does he just think he's that sexy? I guess we'll never know. Let's see. The quartermaster is hiding from me. He's literally hiding in the rusted carcass of, like, what?
Something I can do for you?
When he said esteem, that one word, for whatever reason, sounded very sarcastic to me. I found the supplies you were looking for.
Taking my men were dead. It's a high price to pay, but these supplies will save a few lives here. Thanks for finding these. You should check in with the Major. I want to know about this.
Okay. So I need to speech to Major Polotli, who we did find earlier. And this is Lieutenant Monroe. Polotli was not in the command tent when I saw him, I don't think. You would think he'd be in the command tent, but I don't think I ever saw him there. I only saw the communications officer in here. I guess going everywhere in the middle of the night doesn't make it terribly easy to find people, because they're just sleeping in, like, random locations. Can I talk to this person about his patients? I probably don't have enough medicine skill.
Thanks again for looking into my missing medical supplies. Now we can actually use them on people that need them.
I don't think I...
Until we meet again.
I'll have to talk to this guy when I have more medicine skill, because I want to do that quest. That sounds like fun. That sounds like the kind of quest that would be great to do. Arctole the Healer. Arctole is actually associated with some degree of healing proficiency. Back in City of Heroes, he was, I had him be, he was a corruptor with Fire Blast, and, Kinetics, which is like speed manipulation. So one of the abilities that Kinetics has allows you to basically steal the enemy's stamina and deliver that stamina that you've stolen as health into your allies, which is pretty cool. But he's historically more associated with healing himself than other people. He's not the most pro-social character, but generally speaking, any of my characters that have the ability to heal themselves have at least some capacity to heal others as well. They're very related skills. They're not quite the same skill, but they're very related. Though I think in his original incarnations, the only way that he actually healed himself was by literally, like, pulling some absorb shenanigans. But that was decades ago. Like, that's a decades-old interpretation of the character. Let's see here. I don't know where you are. Just watch this guy, like, lying down over here now. That would be really funny if he and the quartermaster just, like, traded places. Because I just saw the quartermaster. Let's see. Plotly is just going to be lying on one of these beds. I guarantee it. One of these beds. Either that or he's going to be, like, back in the command tent, and he was lying on one of these beds, and now he's gone. There's the mess hall. Did I go in the mess hall? I think I did, right? Yeah, I did. Some troopers, trooper. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Hey, Akihiko, how are you doing? This is not the right direction. I already checked all of those. Finding you is... He's literally on my map, isn't he? I think that giant glowing thing on my map, that giant glowing arrow is pointing me directly toward him. And that's a little bit embarrassing. And there's Major Plot. You know, maybe looking at my compass from now on might be a good idea. I helped Quartermaster get some supplies.
The extra supplies will help for a short time, but that only solves one of our problems. With all the Legion raids lately, we're running low on troops that can still fight. Some are injured, but even more are dead. I want you to check in with Dr. Richards and see if he needs any help getting our troops back on the front line.
I was not intending to do all of this shit right now. I don't have enough medicine for this, so what I'm actually going to do, because the title of this is literally DLC Dilemma, which is actually kind of appropriate because I'm in a dilemma where I keep getting into these things that seem like they're kind of time sensitive, and not doing them because, and not going to the DLC that I intended to do at the start of the stream, and we're now an hour and 51 minutes into the stream. I haven't touched any of the DLC. I'm gonna go do the DLC. It's gonna be a thing. So before I start up the DLC, I need to take a look at my stats. I need to fix my H2O situation. I don't know why that happened. It might be because of those magazines that I used. Not really clear. I am traveling all the way back to Good Springs to deal with this because I just got like 400 thirst out of like nowhere, and I don't know what happened. Because I reloaded a save, and then all of a sudden I had like 200 more hunger and like 400 more thirst than I did before when I saved. And I don't know what happened. It might be the magazine, because I used 2 magazines instead of 1. I don't know if that's what did it, but I thought that before I even entered the thinger, I already had that kind of a situation. So either way, it's all fine. We need to go to the Mojave Drive-In. So do I have... How my rads looking? Oh my god, I have 24 rads. Oh god. Don't like that. I haven't been picking up enough jalapenos and shit. Alright, we're gonna start eating some jalapenos and moving on with our life. We're gonna wait a few seconds for this to trigger. I don't want to lose those stuff. And we're going to, I think, hop straight down to the drive-in. So save the game and hop over the drive-in. Is this the drive-in? No, it's not. Okay. Head over to the drive-in, and hopefully I find some food along the way. It'll be fine. I have half of the like thirst value that I need. I'm not sure if I want to allow myself to wait here or not. I do have a concern in that we've got all these wild animals here, and there's a dude who's just like standing around up here. Don't really want him to get killed by this shit. Okay, that's 10 EXP. Got a little one here. Got some Gex. I'm a little confused about why these things aggro from such a long distance, because I would think that a mole rat, like a naked mole rat, would have like no vision, right? Do these things have tremor sense now? Is that what's going on? Do mole rats have tremor sense? Tremor sense, for those who don't know, is a D&D term that refers to creatures that can literally feel like the vibrations in the ground, and they functionally like use it as like a radar. Like like see without like vision. So there's certain things like earth elementals and a lot of burrowing creatures have tremor sense that just allows them to sort of like locate things. I think I am going to just wait here for 12 hours. I'm not going to worry about it. I haven't been waiting in the past, but if I go out and want to do 12 hours worth of shit, I'm not going to come back here and do this in time, you know? So we are waiting. I'm not going to make a habit out of it, but I am going to do it for right now. So, Crash Satellite seems to be the source of the strange transmission. He'll be unable to return to the Mojave until you solve the mysteries of the Big Empty. You will be able to return after completing. Okay, so I won't be able to. My dehydration levels decreased, so did that actually reset all my... Oh, that's interesting. It's loading up a whole new module. Very interesting.
In the years before the Great War, Big Mountain had been the home to the brightest minds of the 21st century. Scientists of vision were drawn to the facility to tackle the greatest technological challenges of the era. They sought to create a new world, fueled by technology for the benefit of all mankind. Sonic emitters, space-age alloys, DNA hybridization, force field particle research, autodoc advances in cranial, cardiac, and trauma surgery. The hopes and dreams of a century became realities in the electronic forges of Big Mountain. The nucleus of this research was the Dome, a huge stone facility that held the labs of every science known to man. It was a think tank where no problem could not be solved, where no question could not be answered. The Great War brought a new energy to Big Mountain and its scientists. Although sheltered from the front lines, the scientists waged their own war, fighting their battles at the atomic level. Equations and calculations marched endlessly across chalkboards and computer terminals toward one solution: winning the war. For years, the minds and computers of Big Mountain were a blaze of trajectories, weapon schematics, and nuclear theories. The problems began to outpace the solutions, first geometrically, then exponentially. As the war escalated, so did the questions. On the night of October 23rd, 2077, the scientists received an answer that put all their questions to rest. In the aftermath, Big Mountain's silent experiments went to sleep, their creators slowly dying in the new world that had been left behind. And the great stone in the middle of the Big Empty lay untouched, filled with countless technological wonders. Wonders that, in the end, had been answers to the wrong question.
Interesting. Heavier, quicker inspection of your body reveals a faint surgical scars around your head, chest, and back. Patient gown was equipped. This is unacceptable. No. Where the fuck am I? Find out where the hell you are. I appreciate that so much. Okay, first things first. This is unacceptable. We're not wearing a patient gown. We're stripping. We're not putting our armor back on. That's not what we're gonna do. We'll do that eventually. We'll do that once we figure out where the hell we are. But we're not wearing a patient gown. I'm just gonna wear nothing instead because it seems more realistic. Alright, so this place did have Sunset Sarsaparilla. That is still viable. Ooh, there's Footlocker here. Turpentine, don't need that crap. And bench, and door to the sick. There's a workbench here, there's a reloading bench, ammunition thing. Cool beans, where the Vitatronic 3000? What is it? Okay, good. I was a little concerned what was going to happen when I clicked on that. Okay, we're going to take the Mentats. Personality files damaged or missing. Insert backup holotape to restore. You say personality files? Pre-war book. Advanced functions, file damage. Insert backup holotape to restore. Okay. Scrap electronics. This feels like something that I probably should have more science for. Well, that's unfortunate. That's scientist scrubs. Okay, we will take that, because that's clearly something that we need to have. Let's talk to Muggy. Personality files damaged or missing. Okay. There's a queen bed here. Securitron. First aid box. Dirty water. Syringes. Rebound. Oh, that also weighs nothing. We'll take it. Gotta take the drugs so we can sell them. Drug trafficking. Shouldn't say that out loud because I live in Singapore, where they don't fuck around. Let's see here. So I can talk to my sink. Why do I have to talk to all my electronics? I'm moderately concerned here. Hopefully my speech skill will come into good duct tape, huh? A lot of duct tape. You can tell that they're an advanced society because of all the thing here. So how could you possibly? How could there possibly be these things here? Sugar bombs, Xanderroot. Just... Okay, so this is okay. That's interesting. Looks like somebody. Messing around in here. Looks like somebody's trying to grow shit in here. You're not gonna eat apples. Hot plate. Ooh, okay. So I can make some of this. At least not tequila, huh? Okay, don't think I need that. Okay, I'm over encumbered and cannot run. What do I want to drop off here? I should have probably sold some of this crap. I have a lot of things that are reasonably heavy and very expensive, so I think I'm gonna put... like, I have... Look how expensive these are. Let's see. Well, I definitely don't need all these. These rounds. Wasn't my weight limit 210? Did my weight limit increase? Let's see. A lot of dynamite and shit like that. I don't want to put that in here. I'm going to put this hunting rifle in here. What I'm basically looking to drop off here is stuff that I'm intending to sell later that's reasonably heavy. So I have a lot of guns. That's the primary thing that I'm trying to get rid of right now. Sheriff's Duster. Guns. I have the ability to increase my medicine by 5 by equipping this. I have 15 pounds available to me right now. Search with big MT. Strange feeling of pacifism comes over you. You find you cannot draw your weapons for some reason. Well, that's not generally a good sign. This is literally a Persona 5 boss. That's terrifying. Okay.
I thought I heard the pacification fields kick in. All right, shh, nobody move. I'll handle this. Be warned, intruder. You are in the presence of a mighty think tank of Big Mountain. The collective geniuses of...
That is a brain joke. Okay.
By Oppenheimer, which one of you self-professed geniuses has been adjusting my volume knob? Who was it? Was it you, 8? Oh, Dr. O, was it? Likely story. O couldn't spark 2 neurons if they were in a lattice of biomed gel.
What? Me? Breaking news, Klein. It wasn't me, all right? I'm the robotical engineer. 8 is sound waves. That's his specialty. You always do this. You always demean me in front of guests. And it's not O, all right? It's...
Enough! Either of you do it again, it'll be the last time. Now... Great. Now I forgot what I was saying. What was I talking about?
What surgery? I mean, I'm in a patient gown, but it didn't tell me anything about a surgery. Maybe I should have read my journal, because... not the case yet. Okay. How are you all speaking through that one voice box? I mean, that's not complicated. I guess, are you the ones who performed surgery on me? Because apparently...
Did
I
he
would
just
know.
say something? Anyone catch that? Boros, you work with animals. Translate. It's a lobotomite. Here, in the dome. Oh, as if this situation couldn't get any worse. Now we've got lobotomites. Gala, get the spray before it excretes all over everything.
Lobotomite?
Dr. Klein, if my hypothesis is correct, this lobotomite is the repository of the brain we sent the signal to, the skinvelope once containing it. If so, it's proof that there may indeed be something beyond the crater. Just look at it. The way it blinks. It's like a big, hairless teddy bear.
I know why.
I have plenty of
it is,
hair, okay?
I want to know why it's down here. With its limbs all over everything. And
You
are
have
those
3 limbs, okay?
penises I see wriggling on its feet? Disgusting.
I believe those are toes, Dr. Klein. Little teddy bear toes. Penises are much larger than those tiny extremities. Not that I would know.
I don't recall the human penis ever being that large.
It depends on one's own frame of reference, Dr. O. Look at its little nose with its 2 orifices for ingesting oxygen.
Noses? Why, the great static. These lobotomites confound me with their sheer number of useless extremities.
Blink slowly with a blank expression. I like it. Display middle finger. So... I want to know how I got here and how I get home.
Dr. Klein, look at it. Its head movements, the primitive jelly eye monitors. It's been following our conversation. The lobotomite understands us.
This is very amusing.
I agree with Boros' histrionic findings. This little lobotomite is unusually attentive for something whose brain has been extracted.
Nonsense. Lobotomites can't comprehend us.
8, have you been in the Mentats again? If we slow down our oral processor receptors to understand this excretion, we'll all be rendered ignorant.
All of you, power down, shut up, and let me prove once and for all how wrong you all are. As usual. Lobotomite, do you understand me? Can you speak?
Let's see. Yes, I'm guessing the crashed satellite was yours.
Those were words, weren't they? In the form of questions. It's asking me questions. Is this some kind of trick?
I love this.
Our efforts have turned against us. In plain God, we created a monster.
Perhaps as we were ruthlessly lobotomizing it with our cutters, we filled this skin envelope with awareness. A teddy bear with new stuffing.
Wait. If what you're theorizing is this lobotomite understands us, can reason with us,
then this may be just the answer we've been looking for. At last, a chance to... Dr. Klein, a transmission from the Forbidden Zone, coming right at us. It can only be...
If it isn't my old colleagues, the mighty think tank of Big Mountain. Big fools, all of you. It is I, Dr. Mobius, transmitting from my dome-shaped dome in the Forbidden Zone. A zone that is, yes, forbidden to you. Even now,
This makes me so
deadly robo-scorpions swarm across Big Mountain with their pincers and pointy laser tails. Soon, all science will be mine.
This is so good.
Even the technology sealed in the Big Mountain research centers cannot save you. So cower in your think tank. Wait for the